Yo, 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 what's going on? Welcome back to Bolo TV. This is definitely going to be a short stream. It isn't going to be that long. But I wanted to give some information. Last week we came from the perspective of, not having a father in the home, from the boy's perspective, raising these young men. Today we're going to come from the woman's perspective. So I got a little video that I'm going to cue up so you know how I do it before we start. I'm going to play some music by my man Saint. You can get his album. It's out, Concrete Rose, on Apple Music, Google Play Music, and Spotify. Right, so we're going to start it off with that, and then we're going to get into it.
Ooh, I like it at 6 a.m.
I like when you come at 6 a.m. Late night in the studio, you know I am. Another late night, yeah, we vibing. Another late night, yeah, we riding. Another late night, yeah, we riding.
It was late as we was riding. You was here right there beside me. I'm rubbing you all on your body. She told me get right beside me. The way that you walk, the way that you talk, love how you killing it with no remorse. Cause you are a star, you all in my thoughts. Stroking and licking for verse 24. Baby girl, I want you whining. No games, it ain't no more hiding. She making it clap from the bottom. I beat it till ain't no more problems. She called me her problem solver.
When you come at 6 a.m. Late night in the studio, you know I am. Another late night, yeah, we vibing. Another late night, yeah, we riding. Another late night, yeah, we riding. 6 a.m.
Hey. 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm trying to hear they white yawning. Like yawning. Oh, wake up and take this hit. And see hammer down, switch it to the chair. Yeah. And she said, make it quick. Yeah. And she said, make it quick. Back up.
They loving that song in Africa. That was some cats from Africa dancing to it. They loving that song in Africa, boy. They loving it in Africa. So I'm gonna play another song by my man Saint. It's a nice joint. It's a very nice record. Yeah, I listen to the words. It's called Testimony. So here we go.
Yeah, this my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made the king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. This my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made the king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. I pray up to the stars, cause all these scars, they keep me humble. And I gotta get a bag for what we have, I make it tumble. Was a youngin' running around, was so hard-headed, stayed in trouble. Mama, now your son hot, check the pop. I'm starting to bubble. For the days I was stuck in the rain and I felt that pain, I make it double. On this track, I'm digging deep, so yo, I'm complete like this, my shovel. If you ain't thugging with me, you my enemy, I can't trust you. And if you cross that line and bitch, you dying, I'm gon' bust you. And if you riding, then you dying, nigga, off the muscle. And I'm tired of mama crying, it's suicide, I'm tired of fussing. And I turned them to believers, these that came from nothing. And the niggas playing with demons, I done seen it for the money. Running folks off that time and they talking, nah, nigga, is you right? When the ops fight down your block and make it hot, nigga,
legs, you slide. You ain't never had no love for me, so nigga, why you lying? I done been through so much pain, I felt that hate, my soul be crying. I was raised up as a king, was taught to win, I claim what's mine. And I know that this my destiny, was made to lead my kind. And if people want the best of me, so I'm forever fight.
Yeah, this my testimony. On me. Yeah, this my testimony. You know, I was raised as a young king, and they never want to see us prevail. They always try to make me fold. But I done been through my trials and tribulations, and through it all I stood tall and faced them head on. For any nigga out there that done been through what I done been through, stay solid. I just feel like I'm a prophet. I feel like God put me here for a reason. And all praise go to Yahweh.
Again, that's my man Saint. That's not on the album Concrete Rose, but you could check this brother out. That's part of his catalog. Check him out. His joint is hot. Again, you can see his album. It's on Concrete Rose. You can purchase it. What the hell is going on, man? Okay. So like I said, you can get the album on Apple Music, Google Play Music, or Spotify. Again, so you know how we rock here. You know, here at Bolo TV, we believe in spiritual, mental, emotional, physical wellness. So starting next week, sometime, I really don't know exactly, but I will be introducing a nutritionist to talk about eating and taking food, you know, that's going to help your body as well as your mental, because we have to understand that, you know, food do play a big part in your mental and physical and spiritual feelings, and how it helps you to move and how it helps you to react to things. So that's what we're going to definitely be doing next week. Hopefully I can get him on and we'll take it from there. So you know how we do. I'm going to introduce also my man Tommy, his movie. It's definitely a movie that you guys need to see. It's called A Fatherless America, about the effects of not having a father in the home. You know, be it whether you're in a good relationship with the father or not. It's just about having a father in the home, someone that you know, giving that other part, that other portion, not just a woman's portion, but the man's side, to balance everything out when we come to our children.
Children from fatherless homes in this country, 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children who have a father in the home. 32 times more likely to run away. 20 times more likely to have a behavioral disorder. 14 times more likely to become sexually aggressive or commit rape. 10 times more likely to engage in drug abuse. It just breaks my heart. No heat, no judgment.
A woman will open up and say, you know what, not having my father really is a problem, really is an issue. And I wish we could get more Black women to just point out, wait a minute, it's not cool that your kids don't have that father. It's not it's not cool that you didn't grow up with yours. It's not, I don't need no man. It's not, fathers don't matter. It's not, niggas ain't shit. It's actually, we as a people, we as a culture, we as a community have to deal with each other. And in dealing with each other, if we're creating children, if we're having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children. You're
I'm going to always reiterate what Tommy is saying. It starts with the relationship. It starts with the fathers. It starts with the mothers. It starts with the relationship that you have with your significant other. I'm going to always say that's where it starts, because that's where it does start. So we have to understand the environment that we're bringing these children into, and understand that if we don't change the environment that these children are in, it's just going to continue the cycle, because they are just going to do what they see. This is what children are. They're sponges as they grow up. All right, so let's get into this video.
I didn't even know my father. I didn't meet him until I was 15. I wondered what was wrong with me. Why wasn't I good enough? Nobody ever told me that you deserve to have someone who loves you unconditionally. You deserve to have all of the things that your heart desires. How do you heal that little girl inside of you to make yourself feel valued and feel worthy?
Now that's coming from a woman that's grown. It's a grown woman. And what she's speaking on is something that, I speak a lot on: validation. Little girls always seek validation from their fathers. That's what they seek for. You're beautiful. You're my princess. These type of compliments, these type of things. It's a validation of my little girl from her father. And when that is missing, that's a hole that she needs to have filled that hasn't been filled. So they start to think that they're less than. This is the effects that not having a father will do to a woman. Now, this is a grown woman and she still feels this way. Now, you have to continue to see how this feeling from when she's an immature child, how it changes into something different as she grows. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit so that we can hear a little bit more what she was saying.
That you deserve to have someone who loves you unconditionally. You deserve to have all of the things that your heart desires.
Now, you do deserve to have someone that loves you unconditionally. Everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves an environment that they can flourish in. So this comes from the responsibilities of the parents. Of the parents. If you know that you're not in a situation to raise a child, whether it be financially, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, you have to look for an option that is best for the child. A parent is supposed to put the child's needs first. Let me say it again. A parent is supposed to put the child's needs first. Because if you don't, you're setting this child up to fail. Not only that, you need to understand that this child is going to develop issues, mental issues, that they're going to have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out and get corrected. So as a parent, male or female, you need to understand what you're doing. You're about to bring a life into this world. Get your act together before you procreate. If you're going to do a lot of nonsense in your life, cool. Don't bring another life into your situation knowing you cannot handle it. Please don't. Listen to how it affected this woman. And not only her children.
How do you heal that little girl inside of you to make yourself feel valued and feel worthy? How do you fix her?
It's hard to fix her. It's not that it's unfixable. It's hard to fix her. And I don't think you can. Let me retort that statement. I don't think that you can fix that situation, because that is something that over time you would be nourished knowing that your father would validate you and say that you're beautiful and that he would do things with you. And you would have that example of what a good man is. And we're talking about good men here, good fathers. You would have that example. So automatically you would know and understand, this is what I need to look for. This is what I need in my life. It's subconscious and subliminal that this is what you're going to look for, because this is the example. It becomes second nature. This little girl is seeing this man every day for 18, 19, 20 years. This is what she's going to measure every other man against. So if you're a bad example, this is what she's going to look for. So keep that in mind, fellas, when you decide to leave that woman, regardless of whether you want to be with the mother, don't leave the child, man. Our children need fathers.
Wow. Is that your baby? Did she have a dad? Was her dad in her life?
Their dad, these are all three of my girls.
Now, I need you to pay attention to this part right here. Okay? The woman that you heard earlier, these three children right here are hers. And I need you to listen to what it transformed from. Remember, it was needing validation. It transformed from validation to this.
Their dad, these are all three of my girls.
Oh, lovely.
And I stayed with their dad in a very toxic relationship for far too long because I did not want them to feel like I did.
Now, do you understand that? Let's unpack that. This woman stayed in a toxic relationship because she did not want her children to feel that emptiness of not having a father. A toxic relationship, a bad relationship, something that wasn't good. Something that could have been physical, something that could have been physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. But understand, those things were less than that emptiness. She'd rather physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually go through that abuse than not have a father. Then their children feel that feeling of emptiness that she felt. Men, listen, this is what you're creating when you leave that little girl. This is the cycle that we're creating. Now, I understand that, some women make it hard for you to deal with your children. We got to find a way to work through it to the best of our ability. Do everything in our power. I understand that there's going to be situations where everything in your power isn't good enough. I get that. That's the exception to the rule. We're talking about situations where you can help. Situations where you do not have to leave. Situations where you can stay. Situations where this little girl needs her father. These girls need her father. Not only were they suffering because obviously it was a bad relationship, it was toxic, the mother is suffering over again because she'd rather be in a toxic relationship than for her children to feel that emptiness of not having a father. Think about that, man. Think about how important you are. Think about how important you are. Thanks, Sean. You like what you're hearing, man? Press the like, share it. Press the like, share it, and subscribe, please. Let's get the following bigger. But back to the subject at hand. This young lady would rather suffer a toxic relationship than her children to feel that emptiness. And at the same time, she's reliving it. It turned from her getting validation into being in a toxic relationship. So now she's not only getting mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually abused. We don't know if it was all those things, but she was in a toxic relationship. So we're going to assume that it could be one of those things. That she's going to tough it out for her children. No woman should have to go through that, man. No woman should have to go through that. Again, no woman should have to go through that. It's unfair. It's not right. It's not right. This is not a channel that's going to browbeat women or that's going to browbeat men. You know what my mantra is here at Bolo TV. The truth will be heard here. So I need everybody to relax, sit down in the Bolo chairs, and let's have, sit down and let's get relaxed in here. Let's chill. The truth is going to be heard, whether it's positive for women or negative for women. Positive for men, negative for men. Positive for children, negative for children. The truth will be heard. When you have a woman going through this for her children, it's unfair that she has to go through this, bro. It's unfair, fellas. And I'm not speaking to the dirtbag guys out there because they're going to be dirtbags. I'm speaking to the fellas that do have a problem with their child's mother. Don't give up. For your child's sake, don't give up. They need you. They need you. This woman's emptiness transformed from when she was a child, transformed into something of her being in a toxic relationship. And we know nowadays how toxic relationships can be. Men are beating their women. Hell, some men are killing their women. And she decided, think about this. She'd rather be in a situation where her children did not feel that emptiness of not having a father like she did, that she would suffer being in a toxic relationship. That is heavy. That's a good woman. Let me say that again. She suffered with the dirt bag so that her children didn't feel that emptiness that she felt. That's a good woman. Now let's go a little further. By her doing that, it opened up other doors because you don't know if the children were being abused. You don't know. But the only directive that she had was, I do not want my children to go not knowing what a father is, be it a dirtbag or good man. I'd rather them know that they knew their father. That's a heavy decision that a woman has to take on and suffer. It's unfair.
In her life?
Their dad, these are all three of my girls.
Oh, lovely.
And I stayed with their dad in a very toxic relationship for far too long because I did not want them to feel like I did growing up without a dad.
That's one of the ways that our ache shows up, is that we sacrifice ourselves to try to prevent our children from experiencing what we experience. And in the meantime, in the process, sacrifice our children.
Did you hear that? So when she said that, all of the children started nodding their heads. That gives me an understanding that they knew that their pops was a dirtbag. They knew that their pops wasn't treating their mom right. But this is what her feeling as a zero. Not having that man to say, baby, you're beautiful. Come here, come sit on daddy's lap. It transformed into her being in an abusive relationship. Hell, that man could have whipped her ass or killed her. We don't know. But this is what's happening in our communities. You have these women that are raising these children, thinking that having a child can change that man. You know that man is a dirtbag. But because they were raised without a father, they don't want that child to feel that same emptiness. Especially a little girl. They want that girl not to have that hole because you can't fill it. You can't. So they suffer. They suffer in silence. They take the brow beatings. They take the insults. They take the physical beatings. This is unfair. We can do better. We can do better. Now, this doesn't only solely fall on the men, but it's a big conundrum. Why do I say that? Because these little girls who don't have a father, because their mother didn't have a father, and most likely their mother didn't have a father. So somewhere, somehow, we have to learn to break the cycle. So how does that happen? That happens with what we call in the streets the OGs, or the OGettes. We have to go back into our communities and show them what a good man is. Show them what a good woman is. Those children that are born, raised with ratchet women. It goes both ways. If you have a ratchet mom, that boy is only gonna want ratchet women. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Let's not get it twisted. You're only gonna do what you see. So we have to change that narrative. Change it. And we have the power to do it. It's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Sacrifice our children. Do you get that's what you did?
I get that.
Yeah.
How are the other ways the pain shows up?
Well, of course, the promiscuity. That's huge. I mean, sleeping with frogs, fruit, anything.
That right there is very big. It's very big. These young girls not knowing what a good man is because the father wasn't there. The father decided to leave. So what do? They seek validation. And being that their pride, for lack of a better word, hasn't been built up by their father, showing them their worth, showing them what they should demand from a man. That only comes from knowing what your worth is. If you know that you are valuable, then you're going to demand what your value is. Let me say that again. If you know that you are valuable, you will demand what your value is. But if you don't know that you're valuable, you're going to get jerked, right? That's like when you have a diamond, you don't know that's a diamond. You go into a pawn shop, they're going to rob you. First, they're going to check you out and see if you know what you putting on that counter. That's what that man does. That man sees that girl, good-looking chick. He walks up to her. The equivalent of that guy walking into the room with that diamond in the pawn shop, he puts it on the table. The crooked pawn man is going to talk to you for a minute and see if you know what value is in this diamond at all. That dirtbag guy's going to walk up to that chick he see in the street, throw a few little lyrics at her, and see if she knows what her value is. See what her speech is like. See how she conducts herself. See how she moves. If she moves like a woman with value, these guys don't have time for that. They're trying to stick and move. So literally, they're trying to stick and move. They're going to be in, they're going to be out. So when you talking to that pawn man and you sound like you know what you're talking about, he's going to have to come correct. Okay, what you got here is SI, such and such. This is what it's valued at. So when that woman knows what her value is, she's going to demand a man to come correct. She's going to demand it. And when that guy see that his nonsense rap ain't working on this woman of value, he's going to step to the next one. And you just saved yourself a whole lot of heartache from this man. But understand, it has to start from someplace. And where it starts from is these little girls having a father. Women, Whether, ladies, mothers, whether you agree with your child's father on whatever the situation might be, you guys are not together. If you know that he's still a good man, you guys just didn't work out. Don't, because of your anger, because of your hurt, sacrifice your children. Don't. You're going to hurt your children more in the long run, and you're going to continue this cycle. This little girl didn't know what her value was, so she couldn't demand her value. She didn't know what it was. She didn't have someone to tell her what her worth was so that she can demand her value, right? So when she meets this guy in the street, and remember, she wants to feel validated, what he's going to do? Baby, you beautiful. The thing that she should have been getting from her father, he's going to give that to her, and he got her. He got her. Turn her out. Get her pregnant. Whatever. We have to teach these young ladies, these young girls, these babies, their worth. You don't just have your vagina to offer a man. There's more to women than just a vagina. There's your mind, your soul, your support. There's more than just your body you have to offer. But if this is not taught to our young ladies, how do they know what their value is if they don't know what their worth is? How do they demand their value? They cannot. You are not giving them the tools to function in this world. You are not. You are handicapping these children. These beautiful young ladies, these beautiful baby girls. You are handicapping them for those sharks out there that are circling, waiting for blood. It's our fault as parents. Put your problems to the side and understand we got children to raise, man. Let's stop the cycle. We have to stop the cycle. The cycle starts with us. Let's stop putting blame on everybody. Look in the mirror. You're the blame. You knew what kind of woman you were dealing with. You still chose to sleep with her. You knew what kind of man you were dealing with. You still chose to sleep with them. Once we can pick the blame up and say, it was my fault, the healing starts. When you continue to put blame on somebody else and not take your part in it, the healing can't start. The cycle continues. We have to stop the cycle.
You know, moving objects, you know, bread, crackers.
How are the other ways the pain shows up?
Well, of course, the promiscuity. That's huge. I mean, sleeping with frogs, fruit, anything. You know, moving objects, you know, bread, crackers, anything.
No, and the men are shaking their heads because that shows up in your schools.
That's promiscuity is the main thing. It is rarely seen as self-mutilation, but that's exactly what it is.
Absolutely, it's violence.
We often, when we look at young girls,
do you hear what they're comparing it to? They're comparing it, promiscuity, to self-mutilation. And I understand it. I agree with it. Because this woman, this little girl, who is now a woman physically, but mentally she's not. Thank you for coming up, Al. She's not. So the only thing she thinks that she has to offer this man is sex. Good women, women of worth, have so much more to offer than just their body. One of the main things you can offer a man is your support. I don't think women know how important that is. That makes or breaks a man. The one word to be able to say, you got this, baby. You guys don't understand the strength that you roll with. You don't get it. But how can you get it if you were never taught your worth? How can you get it? How can you understand what you are? What your value is if you were never taught that? That's the problem we have to stop. This is the effect, men, and I'm talking about those good men out there. Al, you're welcome. Do you want to call in and tell me how I did that? I would love for you to give a testimony, please. Would that be okay? You know, we have to understand that women are, and you're welcome. We need to teach these women, these little girls, what their worth is. I don't know if I'll be on for an hour and a half, but I mean, if you're still trying to put them to sleep, I'll deal with the baby noise if that's what it is. I just want the people to understand that, you know, there's a place where they can come to. You know, so whenever you can, the link is there. Come in and I'll see you. But you're welcome. And tell your husband he's welcome. And thank you for trusting me. So let's finish this video. So we have to understand that fathers are important. And I'm stressing fathers because a lot of times in this situation, mothers have custody of the kids. It's very rare, not impossible, but rare that fathers get the children, but they do. They do. So we need to understand that when it's backwards, fathers, you need to let the mothers be a part of the child's life. You have to. It's a delicate balancing act when you're dealing with children. They need both sides of it. They need both sides of the coin to understand. They need both sides of it.
Who are dealing with pain, we think of self-mutilation as the cutting and all that too. But the self-mutilation of allowing someone to physically enter you is in knowing that you don't care about yourself enough to say,
wow, that's a big one.
That at least you have to have something.
That's a big tweet, Dr. Perry.
That's very important. When these women lay down with a dude that they know is not good for them. But why do they do it? Because they have no self-value, no self-worth. So they don't think they're worth anything. So what the hell? See, when you have that dollar, you know what that dollar's worth. So when you go to buy that jewelry, you're going to demand the best for your dollar. If you could take that position for that dollar, how much more about your body? Men, we got to stand up, bro. We got to stand up. We got to be in our little girls' lives. They need us. They need us. You have to stop. You guys out there that are preying on these little girls, knowing their weakness, getting these girls pregnant, and not being the father you ought to be because you didn't have a father. Stop being a bitch, man. Stop the cycle. Stop making these children out here and not taking care of them, not being in their life. Get a goddamn job. Be the difference. You know what it felt like not to have a father? Why would you put another child through that? Why would you put your child through that? We need to get this act together because it's too prevalent in the Black and Latino community. I'm sure it happens in the white community. I'm sure it happens in all communities. But in our community, it's very prevalent. Very. We need to stop. We need to get our act together.
You know,
self-mutilation comes in the form of
promiscuity.
And that it's violence against yourself. I never thought of it that way before. Did you all? Well, y'all are smarter than I am.
You know, the thing that shocks me with these young girls is that they're doing things, and when you ask them, they don't even necessarily like the guys that much. I'm like, why did you do that? You don't even like the guy? This is like not.
Why did they say they're?
And you know what? They don't know.
It's the whole.
Well, since you don't know, I'll tell you. The reason why they sleep with the dirtbag that they don't like is because they don't know their value. I'm going to keep hammering this into your heads. They don't know their worth. If you know what you're worth, when you go to that job and they try to lowball you, you're going to say, no, nah, I'm not taking that contract. You're going to have to come up 30,000 because you know what your worth is. If you don't know what your worth is, that job will exploit you. They will take advantage of you. That's the same thing in life. If you don't know what you are worth, if you don't know that you're beautiful inside and out, the world will take advantage of you. If you do not have a father to tell you that you are beautiful, that you're my baby girl, I'm going to show you what it is to look for a good man. I'm going to tell you what a man is looking for in a good woman. I'm going to give you the tools to navigate through this wicked ass world so that you don't make the mistakes that I made. As parents, this is what we're supposed to do. They're not supposed to make the mistakes that we made. They're supposed to make other mistakes. Who's the fool? The guy that jumps over the hurdle and falls, or the second guy that falls at the same hurdle? But your job as the parent, as the father, you're supposed to protect that child, guide that child, nurture that child, provide for that child. That's your job. Get your head out your ass, man. Your little girl needs you. Don't let her go through life not knowing what a father is, what a good man is. so that she gets pregnant or beat or killed. I see too many young ladies, too many beautiful spirited women, young girls that don't know what a good man is, and they're with this dirtbag drug dealer. But they don't know any difference. They don't know. So when you come telling them, that's not a good man, this is what a good man is, to them it sounds like a unicorn. Huh? That's what a good man should be? I've never seen a dude like that. Nowhere in my life. These guys exist. That's why, as a father, you give them that foundation so that they can say, yes, they exist. I am not going to make 4 mistakes trying to get to my Prince Charming. I'm not going to kiss the frog, the rabbit, the snake, the roach. I'm going to wait for my Prince Charming. I'm more than just my ass. I'm worth more than that. I deserve more than that because I know what I bring to the table. My father raised a good girl. My mother raised a good girl. I know what I bring to the table, and I'm going to demand the same. But negates everything I said prior. If you don't have a father, all those things I just said are null and void. Yeah, you can have a good mother, but she can't teach a young girl what a good man is. She can only teach that little girl what not having a good man looks like. Let me say it again. A mother can only teach a young girl what not like having a good man is. I probably said that crazy, but she can only teach the effects of not having a good man. You need a good man to teach that little girl what a good man is. The same way there's certain things that I can't teach my daughters. I can't. Their mother has to teach them that. Fathers are important. I don't care, with this feminist movement nowadays, women don't need men. I can be a single mom. Why would you want to be a single mom? This was something out of necessity. The father wasn't doing right. He was either a drug addict, a drunk, or beating you, whatever. So you were forced to be a single mom. Now that's like a badge of honor. Like Tommy says all the time. Being a single mom is like the thing to be. All the single ladies, raise your hands up. When I look at this, I'm an 80s baby. When I look at movies of the 60s and the 70s, little girls wanted to get married. Boys wanted to marry. Now, that's out the window. Hey, Lieutenant, what's going on, baby? That's out the window. That no longer exists. We're dealing with the madness that we're dealing with now. We got to do better, man. We got to do better. Let's continue.
He was nice to me. He was nice to me. No. And I wish it was just it stopped in high school.
No, it does not.
It does not.
But what a father or very important father figure does for the young ladies with whom I work is it sets the standards.
Hey, boom. It sets the standard of what that little girl will look for in life, in the future. That's the catalyst. You as the father. You women going out there and picking good men. Again, the conundrum. How do you pick a good man if you don't know what one looks like? We have to stop that cycle. Lieutenant said, I'd marry a Chinese woman in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get this right. Our children are depending on it. We gotta get this right. We have to. We have no choice. We're killing each other, man. We're having babies out of wedlock. We're having babies just, and I'm not really caught up on the wedlock thing. We're having babies and we're not teaching them the value of what being a productive citizen in society is. We're not instilling in them Christ. We're not instilling in them God. We're not instilling in them their history, their great history, so that you could take pride in knowing, damn, this is what my people did. So maybe I need to stop acting like this. Maybe I need to stop selling the drugs. Maybe I need to stop beating my woman. But tonight's stream is supposed to be about the woman's perspective, the little girl's perspective. So let me stay on that. These little girls, these women, they don't know what that unicorn looks like. They don't know what that man looked like. So when they come, they think you either gay or you sneaky. You want something. Because you know what? They're used to that idiot drug dude walking with his pants down, halfway down his ass. Yeah, I'm Shan. What's going on, Shan? What's going on, girl? What up, man? That's what they're used to. They're not used to a man articulating and saying to them, hello, I seen you from across the street and I found you very attractive. I just like to know if I could take you out one day. And by the way, what's your name? They're not used to that. They're used to, yo, man. That's what they're used to. Come on now. We got to get it together. We have to get it together.
Amen. Amen.
Because
let's get an amen to standards. All right. Standards.
But how many of us live without them? How many of us have lived without them?
Standards.
Raise your hand.
So what happens is if one of
you see how many women raise their hands? How many women have lived without standards? Hell, Aliana raised her hand. There's a lot of women out there running these streets without standards because it wasn't taught to them, because there wasn't a father there. Hey, brothers, I'm talking to you. There wasn't a father there.
Jeff's students, one of my students comes to me with this little ugly boy, and she knows how I feel about him. She knows, because we've got that thing, got that relationship, and she knows that when she brings in Mr. Canada, he's gonna look at her like she stinks.
Yeah.
She brought him there for that purpose.
Ugly boys need love. He needs ugly in other ways.
I know, in spirit.
Yes,
a person who presents himself in an ugly way, and I think you understand.
Because what you all do, you set the standard that says you deserve better.
You deserve better, and I will not accept anything less from you, because you know what happens? It's a funny dynamic that happens when you see that kid, his pants are hanging down, and you not with my daughter looking, so a whole physical male thing happens. You suddenly are looking down at this boy, and this girl is looking like, oh, you not no man. That's the man over here. Because he is telling you no.
So we have to understand what that means. I'm my children's protector. So when that little girl has that dirtbag dude with his pants down, he might not be a dirtbag because he might not know no different. But my job is to show her what she needs, to show her what she deserves, to show her that, listen, we could do something better. He's not worth you. He's not. You know what I'm saying? You deserve much better. And you're going to get much better. Heather, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad you called in. How you feeling tonight?
I'm all right.
So you heard the topic. So let me ask you, did you have your father in your life?
No.
Okay. No, go ahead. Give me a little background.
Well, no, my biological father, I never had him in my life. I believe I only met him twice in my entire life. So I don't really remember what he looks like. I really don't. If I was to see him in the streets right now, I wouldn't even know who he is.
So what effect not having your father in your life, what effect did it have on you?
Oh gosh. It constantly had me attracting the wrong kind of man. Even my ex-husband was the wrong kind of man. It was something like a drawing forward of the crappy dude. You know, I don't even ask for them. They come to me. And because I didn't have a father to tell me, hey, no, don't do that. Or that's not the type of, like, he'll see something in that dude that I don't see as a woman. They're able to pick up something in other men that, like, we pick up in other women. So I didn't have that. I did not have it, like, not at all. So with my marriage, with any relationship I had, it always ended. I always ended it because I don't know. I didn't know what a real man is. I still don't. And I'm 44.
Wow. So tell me, I mean, how bad did it get?
Oh, I've been in relationships where I was abused, where I was physically and verbally abused, emotionally abused, and even the father of my kids. That was a horrible relationship. He was a cheater and will tell me about it. He'll come home and tell me how it happened and what happened and how good it was. He would steal from people. He would, all this stuff. I didn't find out about the stealing until the detectives came to the door. And I was 9 months pregnant at the time with my daughter. My son was already like 4. So I didn't even know anything about it. And then he got into drugs, crack. And none of this stuff I didn't know because I was on bed rest. I had a bad pregnancy, so I was on bed rest.
So let me ask you this. So in your life, I know that you and I spoke offline. You were talking about how sick you became and, you know, how much issues you were having.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me how bad it how bad did it get?
Oh, that is a very important factor for anyone that doesn't know who their father is and never met their father. Because a lot of genetic disorders and a lot of illnesses stem from the father. People have the misconception that the mother's the carrier, but no, she's not. It's the father that's the carrier of cancers, blood disorders, of autoimmune diseases, of congenital traits, sickle cell anemia.
Well, let me explain why is that. The reason why is because when women get pregnant, you carry the bloodline of the man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of women don't understand that. You carry on the bloodline. So that's why, when, there's a blood test that you take to see, who's the father or whatever. So there's a bloodline. So a lot of the times, the genetics of sicknesses come from the father. mostly.
Yes, it does. And that's where mine came from. And the problem is that my mother held some things back from me.
Right.
I don't know if she held them back because she felt like I was going to reach out, or I don't know what it was. But I didn't find out my dad had cancer until she told me. I didn't find out that my dad had autoimmune diseases until she told me. And this was after the diagnosis. And it's like, that's important. It's a father being in a home is a very big thing. Father has to be there. Why? To teach his daughters what a real man's supposed to look like. Also, to give any background as to if he's healthy, and they'll know because the dad's in the home. So if the dad's to fall ill, that could be something they could check up with their doctor on. Like, can I get this? It could be preventative medicine.
So let me ask you this. So when how low in your life did it get? Like at your
Very
lowest?
Low. Very low.
What were you about to do? What were you gonna do?
Kill myself. I was gonna just let it all go. I was going to stop my medicines and just die. I felt like that'll be better for everybody if I just leave. And I wouldn't have to feel the pain anymore. And even now, I still feel the pain from not knowing him, him not even trying. He didn't even try. I even reached out myself to him a while back, and he just denied me.
Wow.
I don't know what else to do.
So
and that's why I was.
So let me ask you this question. What made you change your mind and start taking your medication?
You. I reached out. You responded. We connected. I spoke to you, and you told me that I'm more important than that. That the world needs me, and I have a purpose. I probably don't know what that purpose is yet, but I have one.
Your purpose is this, and I'm sure that there's other things that in the future you're gonna know. Your time ain't done yet.
No.
No, hell no. Your time ain't done yet.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
But lack of having a father, it led to heartache from other men, and it led to not knowing what that is. I honestly don't. I don't even know. That's why I stopped dating, because I'm scared. I am scared. I don't know what's out there, and when I see, for my very own eyes, it's not good, because like you said, there are a lot of men out there that are not men. And the way they speak to women is not the way they should, because they were brought up by their moms and not their dads. All my boyfriends, even my ex-husband, was a mama's boy. They spoke like me, and it was weird, and I didn't like it very much.
Right.
So I couldn't deal with that. I just can't.
So if you could talk to those single mothers out there that are raising these single girls, these single daughters, what would you tell them? What would be your advice to them?
My advice is, number one, stop praising single motherhood just because you felt like you had to have a baby to complete you, or you had to have a baby because, everybody else has one. Well, let me be a single mom. They praise it too much. Now, I can understand if you were a single mom like me, that I was forced into it.
Right.
But when you have women that just have babies to have babies, just to have babies, just to get government checks and just to get, it's stupid. And what you're doing is pushing the dads away. You're not even caring about the dads. The dad may want to be a part. You're just pushing them off.
Right.
Well, who are you? That's number one. Number two, stop trying to turn your daughters into you. These little girls should not be dressing the way I see them dressed. They should not have weave down their back. They should not be posing online with these pictures and pouty lips and hands on their hips and these little poses that I constantly see on Instagram and on Facebook. It's retarded, dumb, it's stupid, and it's wrong.
Got these little babies twerking.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Have them twerking, cursing, listening to bad music. Look, my daughter's 18 years old, and I don't play that with her. She don't speak slang. She speaks proper English, and she's really good at school. I'm not joking. These women need to stop it. And another thing I see is women, when they do raise their daughters, gosh knows how, but they want to live through their daughters, or they get jealous because maybe the daughter has a figure and she don't anymore, or maybe the daughter's getting attention that the mom wants. Now the mom is turning into the daughter, and the daughter's turning into the mother, or best friends. That needs to stop.
Yeah, you parents, y'all got to stop being best friends with your children. They're your children for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Your children will have friends. Friends will come and go. They only have two parents. You're supposed to be that barometer that tells them no. You're supposed to be that barometer that guides them. You're not supposed to be their friend. No. And that's a big problem that, parents make. And we got to stop. And I think a lot of times women make that mistake when the father is not there and they're trying to compensate for the father not being there, and they don't want the child to hurt. So, they become the friend of the child and they over compensate for the child. So we have to stop that.
That's exactly what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to leave you with the last word. What would you like to tell everybody out there as far as, with all the, let me ask you this question first. With all the stuff that is out there that we look at, we have a few channels that do speak up and do kick what we need, the truth of our community. You have the Tommy Sotomayor's channel, you have the Relationship Rehabs, and then you have my man DJ Just Jay covering the children.
Right.
What would you say? Where would you say this channel fits in all of that?
It's perfectly in it. Tommy speaks on the truth as far as what the black people what they're doing is shedding a light. He's shedding a light on the problem and help. He loved them enough to help them, and that's why he does it. He tells the truth. A lot of people don't accept it, but that's what he does. He shines a light on something that people are afraid to do. And the problem with that is that the people that are afraid to hear the truth, the people that need to help the most, are the ones that's tearing him apart and tearing their own communities apart and our own people apart.
Exactly. They don't want to hear the truth.
No.
No, the truth hurts. The truth is supposed to hurt.
Right. And DJ Just Jay focus on the children is something that the black community does not focus on. It's the children. They just have them to have them. Ooh, I have a kid. Okay. They're not looking at. And the sad part about it is that the black women, the ones that didn't have the fathers in the homes, the one that mothers lived through them, those, they're the ones that hurting the kids.
And the crazy thing on that too is a lot of the stories that Just Jay do, he does it. You find out that a lot of these parents, they don't know how to raise children because they themselves didn't have a parent to raise them.
Right.
So a lot of them are taking these children's lives. They don't have the patience. They don't have the wherewithal to actually sit there and have the equipment and the education to deal with these kids.
Right.
These children that they're having. And speak on Relationship Rehab. Speak on that.
Just about to. With Brian, his show is relevant in regards to black love, man and woman. How they should react to each other, how they should conversate with each other. Like, there's nothing wrong with a good guy to come say, "Hi, how are you? You're looking pretty. What's your name?" We as women should not shoot those guys down. That is not a form of weakness. It's not being a lame. It's not. It's a real man stepping to what he thought was a real woman. And for you to shut him down makes you look stupid. And then you wonder why, there's no good men out there. Right, because you're running them away. And then once he goes and marries somebody, like, why wasn't it me? Because you didn't make it accessible to him. He brings that aspect, as well as, why would a man commit? Why? When there's so much women out there with open legs out there. They're not holding down standards and saying, hey, you know, I wouldn't mind that, but let's see where this goes. I'm not just going to sleep with you just to sleep with you. But
Well,
then you have
and you know, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's the reason
Mhm.
why, you know, I want to create this channel, because you have a lot of men that may feel that what they're doing is wrong, but they don't have other brothers and they don't have a camaraderie with other people to actually converse with, to say, you know what, this is how I'm feeling. And, you know, a lot of times when you hang out with 11 broke people, you become the 12th.
Right.
So I wanted to start a channel where men, primarily, not exclusively, where they could come and be themselves. No
Exactly.
pictures, no nothing. Speak on it. Tell you how you feel, you know, before you actually go out there and do something stupid. Or and women and children. You know, this is not primarily or exclusively just for men. This is a channel that we want to be able to direct you to the help that you need here at Bolo TV. That's what we want to do. You know, we want to be able to direct you to the people that will help you. Like I said, next week we're going to have a nutritionist that's going to come in to teach you, or to teach us about what types of foods to eat and how it affects your body, mentally, emotionally, and physically. We need this, you know.
Yep.
So I think, you know, with this is needed, you know. So we just got to pick up our brick and add it to the building. So what do you want your last words to be? If you can speak to those women, if you had to give them one piece of advice about raising these little girls without a father, what would that advice be?
To stop being bitter, to stop being angry, stop being deceitful, stop with the revenge, stop it. Because these kids are going to want to know who their father is. And the problem with that is that if you don't know who their father is, how would what would you say to your children when they come and ask you, who's my father? Like me, health-wise, like something's wrong with me. Did my dad have this? Or how was he? Was he nice? You don't know, because you don't know who your baby's father is, number one. And number two, if the father does, even if he was a crappy person, even if he made mistakes and just disappeared, if he comes back and wants to make amends with the kids, allow him to do so. Don't say no because you have a problem.
I think that's very important. I'm glad you said that.
I did it. I did it. I was never bitter with my kid's father. He just made mistakes and he did the wrong thing and he left. He got arrested and went to prison.
Okay.
So he got out. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when he got out, he got married and everything, and he wants to make amends with the kids. And I said, I don't have a problem with it. Please don't hurt them, because they've been through enough already. And if you're going to do that, be a constant fixture in their life, because I never closed the door on you. I told them that. I never did.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's definitely a beautiful thing. And I think, you know, that advice coming from a woman, you know, a Black woman, I think, you know, it you can't say no more. Miss Heather J, I'd like to thank you for calling, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good one.
No doubt. You know, so we can't say no more. The last advice that she gave, where it said that if the father is trying to come back in the child's life, let him in. Let him in. You know, it is so important that we start protecting these children. We have to protect these children. You know, we have to start standing up. We have to start being responsible and stop blaming everybody. We have to start someplace. And that place that I would say let's start is with our children. So I'm going to cut the stream short. You know, so, you know, at the end of the stream, you know, I like to play the music that I played prior. And I'll come with my closing feelings. So here it is. This is my man Saint. This is Testimony. It's on his channel, Saint HCE. Check him out. His album is out, Concrete Rose. Check it out. Album is hot. You can get it on Apple Music, Spotify, or Google Play Music.
Yeah, this my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made it king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. This my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they trying to make me fumble. But mama, she made the king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. I pray up to the stars, cause all these scars, they keep me humble. And I gotta get a bag for what we have, I make it tumble. Was a young and running around, was so hard-headed, stayed in trouble. Mama, now your son hot, check the pot, I'm starting to bubble. For the days I was stuck in the rain and I felt that pain, I make it double. On this track, I'm digging deep, so you I'm complete like this my shovel. If you ain't thugging with me, you my enemy, I can't trust you. And if you cross that line, then bitch, you dying, I'm gon' bust you. And if you riding, then you dying, nigga, off the muscle. And I'm tired of mama crying, it's suicide, I'm tired of fussing. And I turned them to believers, thank you, Jesus, I came from nothing. And the niggas playing with demons, I done seen it for the money. When the folks off up that time and they talking, nah, nigga, is you right? When the ops fight down your block and make it hot, nigga, is you slide? You ain't ever had no love for me, so nigga, why you lying? I done been through so much pain, I felt that hate, my soul be crying. I was raised up as a king, was taught to win, I claim what's mine. And I know that this my destiny, was made to lead my kind. And these people want the best of me, so I'm forever fight. Yeah, this my testimony. On me. Yeah, this my testimony. You know, I was raised as a young king. And they never want to see us prevail. They always try to make me fold. But I done been through my trials and tribulations. And through it all, I stood tall and faced them head on. For any nigga out there that done been through what I done been through, stay solid. I just feel like I'm a prophet. I feel like God put me here for a reason. And all praise go to Yahweh.
Yeah, that's my man Saint. Again, you can catch his album, Concrete Rose, on Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. The record is hot, man. You can't deny it. Support the young guy. As a new artist coming out, music is hot. Without no further ado, we're going to play A Fatherless America, because it's so important that we understand that we need fathers. Fathers are important. And when you don't have a father, you're setting your child up to fail. You're setting your child up to fail. And we have to stop this cycle of allowing our children to fail. We have to stop it. We have to make our children strong by example.
Children from fatherless homes in this country, 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children who have a father in the home. 32 times more likely to run away. 20 times more likely to have a behavioral disorder. 14 times more likely to become sexually aggressive or commit rape. 10 times more likely to engage in drug abuse. It just breaks my heart. No heat, no judgment.
The woman will open up and say, you know what? Not having my father really is a problem, really is an issue. And I wish we could get more Black women to just point out, wait a minute, it's not cool that your kids don't have their father. It's not cool that you didn't grow up with yours. It's not, I don't need no man. It's not fathers don't matter. It's not niggas ain't shit. It's actually we as a people, we as a culture, we as a community have to deal with each other. And in dealing with each other, if we're creating children, if we're having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as Black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the Black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with the fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children.
Yeah, so that's my man Tommy. You can get his movie, A Fatherless America, at afatherlessamerica.com, or you can go to his website at tjskoc.com or at amazon.com. Again, you can get it at tjskoc.com, afatherlessamerica.com, or amazon.com. So what's the point of all this? The point is that this can work. This can work. You know, a lot of the times you have people that don't want to divulge their business. This is the purpose of you sitting in my chair and having total anonymity, no picture, not even your real name, so that you can get off your chest what's been ailing you, what's been paining, giving you pain, so that we're able to get you help, so that we can get you the resources that you need. So that's what this channel was created for. It was created for people that are at their last wit's end, that have no other place to turn to, that think the world is just totally against them and they have no safe place. You do have a safe place. Bolo TV. Come sit on the couch. Let's talk, and we'll figure it out together. So, for those that are trying or thinking about committing suicide and they do not want to call Bolo TV and they want to speak to someone more professional, you can. And the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's 1-800-273-8255. Again, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's 1-800-273-8255. For those people that need someone to talk to, therapist, and your insurance may not cover it or you may not be able to afford it. At the National Helpline, what they will do is they will point you in the right directions as far as going to a university where they train psychologists and therapists and psychiatrists so that you're able to talk to them for free. So their number is 1-800-662-4357. The national helpline, 1-800-662-4357. Before you decide to take that child's life or do anything stupid, call these numbers. Call these numbers. These people will be able to help you. I promise you that. If you're at that point where you think that life just ain't worth living, try Bolo TV. Give Bolo TV a chance. My email for you to reach me at, if you want to talk offline, is bolotv16@gmail.com. Again, bolotv16@gmail.com. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm here for you guys. I'm here because we need a channel like this to heal each other. And don't get it twisted. This helps me as much as it helps everyone else. So please, again, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255, and the national helpline is 1-800-662-4357. So I say, God bless you. Take care of yourself and each other, man. Be blessed. Good night. And again, thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Thank you, Brian, for checking it out. Thank everybody. Good night.